Ladies and gentlemen, as we see a bearish engulfing candle form on Bitcoin and a breakdown from a 2-month ascending support line on the RSI, the question becomes, will Bitcoin enter a downwards trend? Will Bitcoin break down below its current upwards trend and enter a downwards trend? We've seen some very bad developments on short term, some very bad developments on medium term, but in wake of all this, the long term still remains very bullish. And there's actually a bit of nuance to discuss in short and medium term. It's not as black and white as a lot of people seem to think. Guys, let's get into it. Okay guys, before we get into today's video, let's check out the VIP group on Telegram. If you go to Telegram, you will see the VIP information and results group, as you can see on the screen right now. On the information and results group, you will find the pricing for the trading group. You will find the membership details, what you get for the membership. You will also find the 14-day free trial information if you don't want to pay. And then you'll also find the PDF document with all of our historical trading results and an 80.5% win rate. Absolutely exceptional win rate there. People like making lots of money on altcoins and VIP. If you're interested in making money on altcoins, that is the place you can do it. That link is in the description below. Guys, let's get into the content. Guys, in the first segment of this video, I'll be talking about the short-term developments in the Bitcoin daily chart, the Bitcoin hourly chart, and the total cryptocurrency market cap hourly chart. I will then be moving into the second segment of the video where I discuss the Bitcoin weekly chart and its ascending channel formation on both the RSI and the price chart, and then also the monthly chart, the cyclical theory chart on Bitcoin, including the RSI, and then finally a monthly chart RSI with moving average trend that indicates something very important about Bitcoin. So two segments, okay? First segment's shorter term, second segment is longer term. Guys, let's get into the first segment. Now, in yesterday's video, I focused very heavily on the short term in the second part of the video, and I made some very interesting claims about the short term. I said that although I am on the fence in terms of my reactions to the market on short term, due to various reasons that you'll remember from yesterday if you watched it, I said I am not actually looking at these charts and thinking they're bullish. I'm very clearly identifying that there are more bearish indicators than bullish indicators. I said that over and over again throughout the video. And obviously we've seen that result. We've seen a breakdown from the ascending triangle formation, which was complicating the chart structures, as you can see on the screen here. Top line of a triangle, bottom line of a triangle. We broke down from that ascending triangle. Unfortunately, it was quite unlikely for that to break to the upside due to the overwhelming fact that there were many more bearish indicators than bullish indicators. So we broke down from the ascending triangle. Now that that is gone, we can go ahead and remove the top line of it. We can keep the bottom line in for now, I guess, although we're going to remove it from this analysis purely because we've already broken down from it, right? We broke down from that. That was a very clear support line. It's actually gone, so we're going to remove it from the video as well. But overall now, that ascending triangle was broke down. The Bitcoin structure now actually looks almost like a head and shoulders candlestick formation. Market pattern, I should say, where you have this left shoulder here, this head right here, and this right shoulder. It would do if it weren't for the fact that the head isn't necessarily too much higher than the shoulders. So I guess you could say it's not really a head and shoulders, a valid head and shoulders, but overall the structure is resembling one. And so that obviously is a bearish structure in itself. Head and shoulders generally do break to the downside. If you don't want to admit that it's a head and shoulders, you could just say it's some sort of double top formation. And of course, a double top formation on an ascending support line is something that's destined to break to the downside eventually as well, or at least very likely to do so. So the Bitcoin structure, I mean, is undeniably bearish. If you look at the region in which we're testing right now, this red box, let's go to the daily chart. This red box is a major macro resistance zone. It's not something we can play around with. It's not something we can play games with, right? This red box stems back from all the way in January 2021. It's been tested on multiple occasions in the last 3 years. It's a very major macro resistance zone, and the fact that we're forming such strong, exhaustion patterns at this major resistance is not a good sign. We have strongly descending volume in this upwards trend. It still is an upwards trend, by the way, because we are yet to make a lower low, sorry. You can see we're still consistently making higher lows, so it's technically still an upwards trend, but I don't think that will remain for long. I think we will be breaking this upwards trend now. As I said, descending volume, as I said as well yesterday a lot, I discussed the RSI. We've rejected from this red line on the RSI, which is stemming back really from 2019. We haven't broken below that red line on the RSI at 88 since 2019. That's 4 years of holding for resistance. We tested that. We also broke down from this very important ascending RSI support line that stems back here from September 10th, 2023, right? So that's a breakdown. It's a big breakdown. We broke down from that. And at the same time as all of this, right? Remove everything else at the same time as all of this, we've seen a bearish daily candlestick formation, right? So a strong bearish, what is it called? A bearish engulfing candle. I always get the terms mixed up. Bearish engulfing candle right here after a couple of green candles to the upside. Strong bearish candle And what a bearish engulfing candle is, it's essentially a reversal pattern. So it happens at the top of formations, just like what we've seen now. We're at the top of a formation here. It's a reversal candlestick formation where the open of the red candle the close of a red candle closes below the close of the green candle, or the open of the green candle. So we've actually engulfed the entire green candle, hence the name, and that's a very strong pattern of reversal. Now, given the fact as well that bearish engulfing candle has closed below this yellow ascending support line and also marked a close below this RSI support line, yeah, it's not looking good. I would say that a downtrend will form on short term, and in that I'm saying that I think we will drop below this low right here. We will form a lower low. Now, where that lower low is the question. I think it's very, very possible that it could actually be all the way down here at something like 33.3k if we see enough bearish development. There are other targets though, we're looking at something like 35.4-ish, that is a target, and then we're looking at something like 34.8-ish, that is a target as well over here. As I said, there are other targets that we can go to. We don't have to go straight to 33. That's actually a pretty considerable drop, by the way. If we went to 33, it'd be an 8-7% drop, and from the peak, that would be looking more like 10%, I believe. Maybe even a bit more than that, 11-12%. So it's not something that's it's not child's play, right? It's a considerable drop. I have made the opinion known before, and I will make it known again in this video, that I don't believe that Bitcoin will go below 28.6k again in this cycle, and I believe if we do that, look, in saying I don't believe it will occur, I'm also saying that if we do that for some reason, Bitcoin is flipping bearish. So that's a very important claim to make. But I think in terms of this correction here, look, there could be something quite substantial. I think everyone's aware of that. But in terms of the immediate short term, you might be asking, well, if we broke down from this yellow line in the price chart, why are we back above it right now? Well, that's a good question. And on the immediate short term, the answer is we've got RSI support, right? RSI support stepping back from the 1st of September on the hourly chart, which is very significant. This is a line that's been retested 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 occasions, right? So of course it's very strong. Of course we're going to see some sort of reaction from it. The charts have to have time to develop. The same RSI line is forming on total cryptocurrency market cap, right? Total cryptocurrency market cap hourly chart has broken down below its yellow line, the same line that is resembled on Bitcoin. And it is as well on RSI support. So look, it's not like, look, time frames are analysis is always multi-time frame analysis, right? So the 15-minute chart's going to show you something different to the hourly chart. Hourly chart's going to show you something different to the daily chart. Daily chart's going to show you something different to the weekly chart. That's just how it works. As of right now, the immediate short term, the very, very short term is actually bullish to an extent because we're seeing a bounce of major support. But the medium term, daily chart, etc., has certainly started to show quite bearish signs, really. And the bearish engulfing candle, as I spoke on the daily chart, along with this RSI rejection, this red line in the RSI from 4 years ago, right? Resistance stemming from 4 years back, as well as a breakdown from the uptrending yellow line, which I've deleted ever since, as well as descending volume. It's impossible to sit here and say that it's bullish. It's just not, right? We'd have to see some sort of major flip in the Bitcoin narrative for Bitcoin to have enough strength to push up above this red box without any sort of actual correction. I think this is probably a region now where we will see a correction from, right? An actual correction, right? Not like these 5% correction moves that we've seen over the last couple of months. An actual correction should probably occur from here. But, with that said, unfortunately, I have to be the bearer of bad news again to a certain extent. It's very hard for me, just like I said yesterday, to sit here as an analyst and say that Bitcoin is bearish when we're still in an ascending trend. Right? It's very hard for me to sit here and say that Bitcoin is bearish, it looks terrible, when we're still in a multi-month long upwards trend on both short term and medium term. So I can't really sit here and say, oh, Bitcoin's bearish, because it's actually not really. We've still got an upwards trend. We're still up without significant correction from, September. 53%, I believe, was the maximum of the move. 53% to the upside without any major correction at all. And even right now, as we see these bearish indicators flash, there's still no evidence that we're seeing any sort of major correction because we haven't even broke, really. I mean, we've unconfirmed broken down below this ascending yellow line. We've unconfirmed all this stuff is unconfirmed. We haven't seen any reality. Once we see Bitcoin actually drop below 34.8k and actually see a break to this upwards trend, okay? Actually see a confirmed double top formation play out with a breakdown from the neckline, then we can say that Bitcoin is objectively bearish on short and medium term. Until then, it's genuinely just speculation. And it's genuinely just what I think might happen, but that doesn't have any basis in reality whatsoever. So, unfortunately, that's been the general vibe with Bitcoin for a long period of time, and this is why I haven't been trading Bitcoin specifically for like 9 months. I haven't traded Bitcoin for any any major trades on Bitcoin really, and short term, I should say. I've definitely got medium term and long term trades, but short term trades on Bitcoin, I haven't been doing that since March. Because ever since March, the Bitcoin short-term price action has been an absolute clown fiesta. It's been a circus. I've been sticking to altcoins for that reason. So with that said, we can move into the second segment of this video where we have a more definitive answer. The second segment looking at longer-term charts. Before we do that, let's check out the Bitget exchange and Bingx exchange. Starting with Bingx, the Bingx exchange is a global non-KYC exchange. You can sign up from anywhere in the world with just an email address and a password, and Bitget is a global KYC exchange. You can sign up from anywhere in the world, aside from the United States of America, with an email address, a password, and identity verification. Both have extremely low trading fees. Both are handpicked by myself for various reasons. I use them both personally, and you can sign up using my referral link for either exchange down below with the referral links. Both exchanges have the same rewards for signing up with my referral link, a 15% trading fee discount, and access to reward centers with over 4,000 USDT in rewards in the case of Bitget, and I believe 8,000 in the case of Bingx. So go ahead and sign up using my referral link below. Help yourself and help the channel get on a good exchange that you can actually rely on to a certain extent. These are exchanges that I'm recommending. So down below, referral links are there. Check it out. Now, in this second segment where I look at longer term, I need to make a distinction. This longer term chart is not a macro chart, so this is just a long to medium term chart, and these two charts here are macro charts. I want to start with the macro charts, then we'll get into this medium to long term chart. So the macro charts being the 4-year cycle, we know the 4-year cycle by now. Guys, it's a 4-year cycle trend based on multiple date range trends on Bitcoin, looking at trends from top to top, from bottom to bottom, from top to bottom, bottom to halving, from bottom to top. It's a very, very well supported trend, and the date range trend suggests we'll see an all-time high on Bitcoin, a top out on Bitcoin bull market in around October 2025. This is a very strong trend. There's no doubt about it. We've looked at it so many times before. It's the same trend that predicted 2021 November top. It's the same trend that predicted November 2022 bottom. We were able to predict both of those bottoms within 5%, bottom and top within 5% based on this trend, and so it's been very accurate in the past, and we have no reason to believe at the moment that it's not going to be accurate in the future. But moving further on that, right, the 4-year cycle is also supported by an RSI trend. This is the monthly chart RSI. Let me fix up the lines a little bit. They're a little bit off. The monthly chart RSI, you can see what we have is that on each cyclical top and bottom, we see the monthly chart RSI move within the bounds of this yellow channel formation. You know, top here, top, bottom, bottom, bottom. And realistically, if we're going to be topping out on October 2025, we're going to be following this RSI trend, which very much is prominent, very much is something that we've followed in the past. We should actually be seeing the Bitcoin bull market top occur when the RSI reaches the yellow line at the top here. So it's something to keep an eye on, because not many people know about that. They're not looking at it right now. But go to your monthly chart and draw in this RSI channel. And if you notice over the coming years, Bitcoin approaching the top of this RSI, the yellow line in this RSI, that is definitely a sign to exit Bitcoin and exit the market in general. But the reason why I bring this chart up now is because I'm trying to look at the long-term bullishness or bearishness of Bitcoin. And obviously, I've displayed quite easily here that Bitcoin is very bullish from a long-term perspective, looking at the cyclical market chart, right? Until 2025 October, generally speaking, we should be in an uptrend, generally speaking, right? That doesn't mean we can't have periods of correction. But we're looking at the RSI as well, and we can see we've got very much room, plenty of room left to move towards this yellow ascending channel line on the RSI. And so that also represents us being bullish on Bitcoin, because we have room to move, right? We have room to go, much more room to go until we reach the top. So that obviously leaves us a lot of room for movements to the upside, and that's bullish as well. So both of these charts, the RSI and the cyclical chart, are bullish. And then moving into something a bit different from the monthly RSI perspective, if we're looking at the same RSI and we bring up the 14 RSI moving average, so the moving average, 14 RSI moving average, the yellow line right here, what you can see is that when we see bullish and bearish crosses between the RSI line and the moving average, so a bearish cross being the RSI line moves below the moving average, we see that reflect on the price chart. I've color-coded in red and green on the screen here. When we've seen bullish RSI crosses, okay, with bearish RSI crosses between that moving average. And after every single bearish cross, we see lengthy downwards trends. In fact, we saw the cyclical bear markets occur after each RSI cross. Here was a 2014 bear market, 2018 bear market, and 2022 bear market after each RSI cross. Okay, we've also seen the cyclical bull markets occur after RSI crosses. Bullish RSI cross here, bullish RSI cross here, bullish RSI cross in 2019. It was ruined by COVID. That's why there's a gray area here, but realistically, it would have continued going if we didn't have COVID. It would have been a one large green box over here. And we've seen a bullish RSI cross once again. That occurred in February. And obviously, if we're looking historically, they've only ever really occurred at bull markets and bear markets. And seeing as we've seen that bullish RSI cross occur, and seeing as we've got a significant amount of space between the RSI and the moving average line, it becomes likely that Bitcoin will maintain this RSI cross. Maybe not until the top, right? It could be different this time with diminishing returns. I'll admit that. But certainly it's not a bad thing. And certainly the fact that we're still in the momentum of a bullish cross on the monthly chart RSI is certainly a good thing, considering if we were to see a bearish cross, it would likely lead to a significant correction. So that's objectively a bullish chart as well. So based on these two charts alone, and we could look into many more, right? I'm just looking at these ones as examples, but based on these two charts alone, three charts, I suppose, with the monthly RSI here in the channel formation, we can easily conclude that Bitcoin on a macro scale is very, very bullish. Now, what about on a long-term to medium-term scale? Because macro scale is talking cyclically, it's talking multiple year basis. I don't think long-term is the same. I think long-term is more within a year, and then medium-term months. So on a medium-term scale, what about Bitcoin right now? Well, this is where we get into a more technical, a more basic traditional technical analysis look at Bitcoin on the weekly chart. Now, Bitcoin has been forming, and a lot of people wouldn't know this, right? I've been speaking about it for about a week now, but it's pretty hidden, right? Bitcoin is forming an ascending channel formation on the weekly chart. It has been doing so since August 2022 with the first couple of retests over there. And we've actually formed a rejection from the top of the channel formation at the same area as the macro resistance lies. So that rejection has occurred. And, you know, that rejection has occurred in shape, or shaping up to be something like an evening star candlestick formation, which is when you see a green candle, a doji candle, and then a red candle. So this could be very bad if we form a strong red candle here, because that would be an evening star candlestick formation from a major macro resistance and from the top of the channel formation. And then at the same time as this has been occurring, we've got on the RSI a channel formation that matches that on the price chart, with the support lines, as you can see, being tested over and over again, and the resistance lines being tested over and over again. And at the same time as we've seen a resistance retest and a rejection from the top of the channel and the resistance box, we've seen a resistance test and a rejection from the top of the channel on the RSI. So it's certainly not looking good for Bitcoin on a medium-term perspective on this channel formation at all. And it certainly looks like, if we're being logical, we're being consistent with what usually happens in ascending channels, we should be retesting the bottom of the channel at some point. Now, it just depends on when that will occur. How sharp will the correction be? Will we jump around in the middle for a bit and correct only down here and only go to 32K? Or will we drop right down to the bottom and go to something like 28.6K? Right? One thing is for certain, if Bitcoin is to drop below 28.6K, if Bitcoin is to drop below this red line here, that would be a break below the green resistance, the green support box. The red resistance support box at 28.6K, which is very major. It would be a drop below the channel itself. It would be a drop below the RSI channel. It would be a drop below bull market support band, 200-week SMA. It'd be drop below Gaussian channel. And basically what I'm saying is that if Bitcoin drops below 28.6K at any point, okay, at any point, Bitcoin is looking very, very bad. I do not think we will get to that point. I do not think we'll drop below 28.6K. I'm just saying if we do, Bitcoin does not look good anymore. Anything above 28.6K on a medium to long-term perspective is actually healthy. All right, that's important to note. So all of this kind of, where are we going to go, where are we going to go, as long as it's above 28.6K, it's actually meaningless from a cyclical perspective. And that's the truth. But in saying that, there's absolutely no denying that Bitcoin is not looking good from a medium-term perspective, given this rejection and given this rejection over here, and that Bitcoin should be going down to test lower support zones. It doesn't necessarily have to go down to the bottom of the channel. That is a possibility. That is what generally happens, but we do have major support within the channel itself, so we could be caught up in support before then. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. But yes, from a medium-term perspective, and well, let's just summarize the video now, I think. We can go from short-term to long-term, right? We can go from short-term, we can look at the short-term and say that, well, realistically, short-term does not look very good right now. However, we are still, technically speaking, in an upwards trend, so it's hard to be confident on anything, but yes, it's leaning more bearish than bullish. Medium-term certainly does not look good right now. Medium-term certainly looks bearish right now. And long-term on a macro scale still looks completely fine. So it's kind of a bit of another situation, as it has been for a long time on Bitcoin short-term analysis, where it's like, oh, well, I've given you analysis, I've told you the levels, but I can't really give you any concrete predictions. I apologize for that. but I'm simply being intellectually honest, and I'm simply speaking to what I see in the charts. I can't sit here and say that Bitcoin is overly bearish on short term when we're still in an upwards trend. It just is not logically consistent for me to say something like that. I can say, like I said yesterday, that there are more bearish indicators than there are bullish indicators, and realistically, if we were to put a gun to our heads, we would say that Bitcoin is more likely to go down. The fact of the matter is we don't act on our feelings and opinions. We act on the realities of what occurs. We react, we do not predict. That's the situation we're in as analysts and as traders in the market. You know, in trading, you should never predict. You should always act and react. Okay, that's how you make money in trading. Predictions is all well and good for making plans, but you know, in the words of Eisenhower, right? Plans are always useless, but planning is always indispensable. So there's a distinction to be made there. So guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Check out the Crypto Academy if you want to learn how to trade. You want to learn how to analyze charts like I did in this video. The Become a Trader 10-unit course is a university-style, university format course. We do slideshows, videos, worksheets, and trading diaries. All of the information about the course is there on the website. You can check it out, as well as our contact details. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one tomorrow. Cheers.